I know who you really are. And who you really are is...
First things first, let me just say Happy New Year and bravo, we're starting 2024 off like that? Like that? Because when I tell y'all that my jaw was on the floor, I was completely gagged. I watched this episode 3 times. Put this up there with Jersey's iconic finale episode when Teresa flipped that table over. Put this up there with Beverly Hills when they went to Amsterdam and Lisa Rinna and Kim Richards got into it. The iconic scene with the glass throwing and Kim Richards threatening Rinna saying, well, let's talk about the husbands. Baby, this is up there with the greats. Miss Heather Gay, let me just give you your propers. Because the fact that you sat there at that dinner and orchestrated that game to make it seem like you were all cool and everything was all good, and baby, you said, Miss Monica, I have a few questions for you, and that dinner went downhill and Monica was exposed as the fraud that she is. Now, let me also let you guys know, because I believe in disclaimers, I do not have anything positive to say about Monica Garcia. So I'm aware that a lot of y'all think that Monica is mother and she's iconic and she's legendary, but I don't.
No.
Because for you to sit up there and smile in these women's faces, knowing that you're running a troll account this entire time, exposing all of them for 3.5 years, that's some real loser behavior. And I have quite a few theories on why I feel like Monica did this in the first place. But baby, I just want to let y'all know that if you are a Monica fan, you are welcome. I want you to get comfortable, grab a snack, but I just want to, let you know that I will be going in on your girl. But guys, let's just get on into it, because you guys already know that I have so much to say and we don't have a minute to spare. Now, the first 1.5 minutes of this finale episode, we started off with Heather on the beach. It's really tense. And she's called her girls Lisa, Whitney, and Meredith. And she's saying she's not who she says she is. I've been wrestling with this information all day. I don't know what to think. And of course, we're trying to guess, who is she talking about? But we all know that it's about Monica. But we hear Heather going on to say that she has profited off of our pain and our lives. She's not our friend. And it was all lies the entire time. So baby, when I tell you that I was like, okay, can we please get to this dinner scene, because I'm ready. Like, I need to know, what exactly did Heather find out? So now we rewind it back up and we go back to 8 hours earlier. Now, mind you, it's their last full day in Bermuda and they're all waking up, getting ready for the day. We see Whitney and Monica, and they're in the bed talking about what happened last night. So Monica's asking Whitney if she plans on talking to Heather today, and Whitney says that she tried to talk to Heather last night, but Heather wasn't having it. Now, Whitney, I need you to grow up. Why would Heather talk to you? You sat up there talking about, oh, you exploited my sexuality in your book. Of course I would piss anybody off, because 1, you're reaching, and 2, you brought that up at the worst time. Y'all were having a good time at the bar, and now you want to talk about, oh girl, I didn't like what you said about me in your book. And it's like, girl, where's this coming from? So, of course, Heather wouldn't want to speak to you. And the way the last episode ended, are you really surprised? Heather cursed you out and told you, girl, don't come near me, don't speak to me, leave me alone. And come next season, Whitney, please get a real storyline. Because you talking about, oh, she exploited my sex life and all this stuff is weak. And it's embarrassing and you look really dumb. So here goes Monica being messy, and she relays what Lisa told her, She's like, oh, by the way, when I was asking where were you last night, Lisa told me, oh, Whitney's probably off being dramatic somewhere. So now Whitney's pissed. She's like, really? Lisa wants to call me dramatic? Like, that's really funny. That's the pot calling the kettle black, because nobody's more dramatic than Lisa Barlow. And I have to admit, that's very true. Lisa Barlow gives you theatrics, especially when she's upset. So I say, yeah, it's definitely hypocritical for Lisa Barlow to call somebody else dramatic when she's the drama queen herself. So now we see Whitney walk over to Heather's room, and she wants to talk to Heather and work things out. And she says, look, Heather, I was so surprised by your reaction last night. I was not expecting that. Heather says that she was surprised by her own reaction too. And I just said, Whitney, once again, please stop playing dumb. We already know that Heather is very protective over her book. So you saying that, what reaction did you actually expect her to have? Whitney, I would have more respect for you if you would just own up to the fact that you're grasping at straws because you don't have a solid storyline. So Heather's like, look, Whitney, I'm just confused because we went over what I wrote about you in my book. And you asked me to take certain things out. I did that. And you were pleased when I read you what I wrote about you. So again, I'm just confused as to how you can say that I exploited you when you already knew what I was writing about you in my book. And it's clear that Whitney did not have a leg to stand on. She's trying to make excuses saying, well, no, because it's just different because I hadn't read the book yet. Girl, Miss Mamas, stop it. Heather read you the excerpt of your relationship. You agreed, you approved, but now you want to turn around and say, well, I don't like that. That's not how this works. So now the ladies are off on the Sprinter van and they are heading to their activity for the day. So they're going to be riding mopeds around the island. That sounds like so much fun. I love things like that, so I would have loved that. So anyhow, before they start riding around the island, they have the instructor telling them, how to use the moped. Heather had me screaming. She was like, I'm worried about Meredith because Meredith has not driven a car since 1987. Now, we see a producer asking Meredith, when was the last time she drove a car? And she's like, well, I actually don't know. And you know what's so funny to me? I didn't even realize that Meredith doesn't like driving. I always felt like, oh, she drives her own car. But no, when you think about it, it's usually Brooks driving her, or it's Seth, or she has a chauffeur. I mean, I get it because driving can be stressful. But I'm like, the fact that she has not driven in a really long time, in like decades, I was like, damn. Now, one more thing. Meredith, you guys are in Bermuda. It's a cute 90 degrees there. Why were you wearing these wide leg jeans and a double-breasted blazer? I was like, girl, you're not hot. Where's a cute sundress? Where's a cute top and some shorts? Like, I was just so surprised by that. I said, I love how committed Meredith is to her look, but girl, you're not hot. I was hot just looking at you. So they all drive into town and now they want to do some shopping. So they all split up into two groups. We see Heather, Angie K, and Monica in one group. They're going to get some perfume because Heather is dying to try the perfume there. And now we see Lisa, Meredith, and Whitney split, and they're all going shopping for some clothes and bags and shoes. So, child, when I tell y'all, this shopping scene had me on the floor. We cut to Heather, Angie K, and Monica at the perfume shop. And as they're about to check out, Heather realizes that she forgot her credit card. So she turns to Angie and she's like, hey, girl, would you mind buying my stuff for me? Because I forgot my card back at the house. And we find out that Angie forgot her card as well. So now Monica jumps in and she's like, well, guys, I actually do have money. I don't mind paying for your stuff. And they were looking at her like, girl, you sure? If you're a Monica fan, I told you already, it's going to be real rough. So Heather's like, are you sure? And Monica's like, yeah, girl, it's not a problem. So Heather's like, well, thank you. That's so sweet of you. I'll pay you back at the house. So the perfume that Heather got, baby, it was a good coin because the total came out to $748. And at the first try, we see that Monica's card declined because her bank didn't know that she was going to be out of the States. So she gets an alert asking if this is her or if it's fraud. And she says, no, it's me. I'm out of the country. I'm out in Bermuda. Like, approve the charge. They run the card again and it's approved. Now, I saw that Monica went on Instagram Live to try to air out everybody, and she was running her mouth saying that Heather didn't pay her back for the perfume when they got back to that house. And I said, now, Monica, the absolute audacity for you to want Heather to pay you back when you didn't even pay for your services at Beauty Lab. So I don't feel any way about Heather not paying you back for that perfume. You owed her money first, and you still owe her. Now everybody's done shopping. They meet up to go back on the van to go back to the house. And now we see 1 hour later, Heather is in her room, production's outside. They hear her having a heated discussion with somebody, and we hear her say, oh my gosh, I can't believe this. Are you serious? Are you sure that it's her? So production's like, just go in, bust those doors open. Let's see what's going on. Heather is freaking out on the balcony. She kicks production out of her room, and we hear her just sobbing. Like, something has gone down with somebody in this group, and it's about to hit the fan. One thing about it, Heather loves to push people because the way she pushed production out of her room, she was like, get out of here. Seriously, get out. I was like, damn. I said, I think that Heather might have some hands. At this point, I'm just like, can we hurry up and just find out what exactly happened? Like, y'all, I was chomping at the bit. I have never been so impatient watching a finale episode. So now we see that it's 4 hours later. Everybody's getting glam. They're getting ready for dinner. And Heather is in her room stressed. She says that she just got some damning information. Her head is swimming. She has no idea what to do, but she knows that she has to deal with it soon. Now Heather says that what's about to go down at dinner could change their friendships forever. I said, girl, that's an understatement. I said, baby, the way this conversation went down, it changed the trajectory of this show. Because those last 20 minutes will go down in the Housewives Hall of Fame. That was legendary. So they all go outside to have their last dinner in Bermuda. And mind you, Heather is hosting their final dinner. And she says that the theme for the dinner is the Bermuda Triangle. So she goes on to say that legend has it, the Bermuda Triangle is where shipwrecks happened and all these mysterious things happened. And in keeping up with the theme, she wants them all to get to know each other a bit more. And she says, I brought all the Pioneer dolls that we made a few weeks ago. And if you want to find out more about somebody in this group, all you need to do is pick up one of the dolls and ask them a question that you want to know. So Whitney volunteers to go first, and she says, Lisa, I have your doll. I want to ask you a question. Monica told me earlier this morning that you had called me dramatic about last night when I was crying. Is that true? So before Lisa can answer, she says, girl, I'm still talking. I just want to ask you, how can you call me dramatic when you're dramatic as well? You're the one who started yelling at Meredith on the yacht yesterday like that was peak dramatics. So Lisa tries to answer and Whitney shuts her down. She's like, you know what, Lisa, I'm still talking. She goes on to say, look, how come you get the right to be dramatic but other people can't? So now Lisa finally answers and she says, look, Whitney, I was stating a fact. I can be dramatic, but you can also be dramatic as well. And I felt like your behavior was just very dramatic. Now, we already knew that this conversation between Lisa and Whitney was going to turn into a mini argument because, let's face it, Lisa hates being called out about anything. And I was thinking in my head, this is cute and all, but let's wrap this up because I want to hear what Heather has to say. I am waiting with bated breath to see Heather expose Monica. So now they stop arguing, and now Meredith decides that she wants to confront Heather, and she says, look, Heather, I just have one question for you. You and I have been friends for quite some time now, but I am a bit disappointed in you because you haven't supported me on this trip. When everybody accused me of being the one behind the DMs about Angie, you just sat there. So Heather says, well, Meredith, at the time, Monica was clear and convincing, and you really weren't speaking up for yourself. So Meredith is pissed. She's like, but Heather, because I wasn't screaming and cursing, that means that I'm lying. I've come to a place where I'm mature enough to state my case without having to resort to raising my voice and screaming. And the fact that you don't believe me because of that, then that says a lot about you. And I agree with that because 9 times out of 10, people would rather have you argue with them than you being silent or you being calm. Because people's goal is to get under your skin. And when you don't give them that, they're really angry. So I think that people don't like the fact that Meredith takes the power back by not letting people see her get emotional or go over the top or just fly off the handle. But let's talk about how everybody in this group owes Meredith Marks the biggest apology, because the way they sat up there and piled on her, knowing that the culprit was right there. The liar was right next to Meredith. And they sat up there and dogged Meredith out like that. At this reunion, y'all better give Meredith the biggest apology because y'all did her so wrong. Now, Heather, I need you to teach a master class because this was beautifully done. Heather is setting Monica up and Monica has no idea. Heather turns to Monica and she says, Monica, why do you think that we all believed you? So Monica says, well, I don't know. Maybe because I had all the proof. I had the DMs. I had the whole timeline. I threw myself into the fire and I owned it. So Heather makes a face and she's like, wait, so it had nothing to do with you telling the truth? Is that what you're saying? So Monica was caught off guard by Heather's response and she's like, no, obviously I had the proof. Baby, the whole table was silent. If y'all could have seen me standing up at this point in the middle of my living room, I had goosebumps because I already know that it's about to go down. Heather says, honestly, I don't have any burning questions for anybody, but I do have a few questions for Monica. Monica still has no idea what's about to go down, but she's not too excited to play this game. She's like, oh Lord. And I said, oh Lord is right, because the way Heather is about to snatch your wig, sis, and thank the Lord I don't have my braids in right now, because the way she would have yanked my braids out of my head and left me. Listen, you could feel it. Like my heart was beating out of his chest. So Heather is really in her Nancy Drew bag and she says, Monica, the real question is, who's the real Monica? Again, the table is silent. They're all stunned and Heather is still going. At this point, I'm thinking, there is no way if I'm Monica that at this point, I'm not putting 2 and 2 together that Heather found out about me and is about to blow my cover. I felt like, Monica, if you had sense, you would have just come clean right now before Heather had to expose you. That's what I would have done, because I'll be damned if I have somebody try to expose me like this. So Heather starts it off really nice. She says, when we first met, I thought you were cool. Me and you bonded over being single moms to daughters. We had a great time together. I thought that you were charming and funny and witty. You're a lot smarter than what people think. And I pegged you as an open book, a truth teller. And y'all, at this point, I'm gagging. I'm just like, Heather, spit it out already. Like, I can't. The suspense is killing me. Stick a fork in me. I'm done. Like, girl, just say it, girl. Just say it. So Monica is still sitting there, not saying a word. So Heather goes on and says, but girl, I don't think that that's who the real Monica is. Girl, you're not our real friend because you're somebody who's been profiting off of our pain and you don't really like us. And I know who you really are, and who you really are is, now before Heather says it, we see the flashback of 2 hours before dinner. Heather is on the beach, and she has called Meredith, Lisa, and Whitney to join her on the beach to let them know that Monica is behind the troll account on Instagram called Reality Von Tease. They are all freaking the F out. I was in shock. My mouth hit the floor. Y'all, when I tell you guys don't understand, like, this episode had my head spinning. The dramatics of Heather on the beach like that, I just said, what am I watching? Is this a scripted series? Like, this episode honestly needs to be nominated for an Emmy, the same way that Vanderpump Rules was nominated because of what happened with Scandival. Please nominate SLC for an Emmy, because this episode, y'all, again, it was just perfection. Chef's kiss. Heather goes on to tell them that Monica is somebody who infiltrated their friend group and schemed to get in and has been behind that troll account for all that time. So now we see this 5-minute confessional with Heather breaking down everything. We learned that Reality Von Tease was an Instagram account that was created 3 years ago, and it was dedicated to exposing and annihilating Jen Shah. But then it quickly went on to trolling everybody on the cast. So we see screenshots of them talking about Whitney being a swinger, how she uses her bedroom to recruit people. Then we see another screenshot talking about Heather, but they used a slur. I'm not going to say the word. I'll let you guys figure it out or rewatch the episode. But they're talking about all of them. So Heather goes on to explain that before she met Monica, she had heard about Monica through their mutual friend Tanisha. Now, Tanisha is Heather's hairstylist. And I saw that Tanisha went on Instagram Live to clear her name. Tanisha, I have some choice words for you later on. But girl, you got yourself in a big mess. And if I were you, I'd be embarrassed to even be a part of this. Because there's no way that another grown person would convince me to be behind a troll account. Like, that's very embarrassing. But again, sis, I have some choice words for you too. Just wait. And I'm dying to know if Tanisha still works for Heather now. Because you damn sure would not be touching my hair if I found out that you were trolling me under some fake account with somebody else. That wouldn't be happening. You'd be gone immediately. I don't play that. I do not deal with people who have secret hate or secret jealousy towards me, secret animosity. Keep that over there. That's weirdo behavior. That's dangerous. That's how things happen. So Heather goes on to say that she always found it a bit weird and she always felt uneasy with the way that Monica handled personal information, such as her divorce, her cheating on her husband with her brother-in-law, the issues with her mom. It just always felt like she was oversharing, but then she quickly realized that it was a weapon because she's so used to exposing other people, she had no issue exposing all of her business. Now, let me just say this. In my experience, people who overshare with you really personal and traumatic details of their lives when you first meet them, they're doing that with ulterior motives. They generally don't have good intentions. And they want you to lower your guard and say, oh my gosh, well, they're sharing that and we just met. Obviously, they're a good person. Obviously, they're cool. When it's the complete opposite. That's generally been my experience. So I always have a side eye when people are so quick to share very personal details. Because I feel like certain things that happen to you, everybody does not need to know them, especially not on the first meeting. So Heather continues on by saying that before the Bermuda trip, things got really weird. She went to Beauty Lab to buy Monica a gift card for her birthday. So she says she's looking up Monica's name and 3 Monicas come up with 3 different last names, but they have the same birthday. So now she calls up her business partner, Dre, and she's like, hey girl, can you investigate this? And lo and behold, we find out that it's Monica, and Monica has not even paid her Beauty Lab bills. I said, damn. I said, when it rains, it pours, because the fact that all this information is coming out little by little, I was just like, Heather, you're better than me, because I would have torn Monica up before this trip. But you know what, girl? You did the right thing, because you gave us an iconic finale episode. So thank you for keeping this in until the big reveal, because I was here for all of it. So now Heather goes on to add that she did think that the whole DM conversation about Angie K was odd, and the timing about it was weird too. Now, Heather, I have to get on you quickly, because at this point, you had already had your doubts about Monica. You found out that she owed Beauty Lab all that money because she wasn't paying. You're realizing that something's up with the way she shares information. So I'm just surprised that you did not stick up for Meredith more on this trip when they were all ganging up on her, because the signs were clearly pointing to Monica's up to something and she's not who she says she is. Honestly, guys, I could have listened to Heather in that confessional for another hour, because the tea was just too good. We find out that at this point, Heather calls up her hairstylist / Monica's former best friend, Tanisha, and she's like, Tanisha, what do you know about Monica? Like, what's going on? And she goes on to say that Tanisha spilled the beans and sang like a canary. Tanisha sent Heather all the dirt. She sent her screenshots, audio, DMs. One of the screenshots said something like, we need to find Heather's address. I was like, it's giving stalker. What's going on here? So Heather says that despite Tanisha giving her the volumes of evidence, she called one of her other friends. I'm assuming that this friend is in cybersecurity and they can find out who's behind these accounts. And so she reached out to them and they confirmed that it was indeed Monica behind all of this. I just want to know, what would possess you at your big age to have a troll account? Like, I expect a teenager or somebody like in their really early 20s to have a troll account. But Monica, in your 30s, you have a troll account? Like, you're trolling all these women, but yet you want to be friends with them? Like, that's really psychotic to me. But anyhow, we're back to seeing Heather telling them all this information at the beach. And Heather says, don't worry, guys. I'm going to confront her about this at dinner, and I need you guys to back me up. They're all like, girl, we got you. Like, we can't believe this. You have Meredith crying. She's like, this is so effed up. Why can't folks just leave us alone? Why do they want to hurt us? And they're all just really upset. I said, let's also talk about how everybody did such a fantastic job playing like they had no idea at the table. Because at dinner, we didn't know for sure if the other ladies knew what Heather was referring to until they showed us that flashback scene 2 hours ago at the beach. So now we're back at dinner, and Heather says, I know who you are. You're the cyber bully, internet troll, reality Von Teese. Monica is stunned, doesn't say a word. I said, girl, you have all this mouth any other time. Say something. Don't just sit there. You claim to be so big and bad and you don't mind fighting and you're all ratchet and all this. So you might as well stick up for yourself now and say something. Don't be quiet now. It's the wrong time to be quiet. And for the Monica fans, I'm just so curious as to how you still think of her as an icon when she's a weirdo. Because Mama straight up lied. She starts denying it. And Heather's like, girl, don't even lie to me. I have all the receipts. I have the DMs. I have the audio. I have the screenshots. Like, you're a liar. You are Reality Von Teese. That's your Instagram account. You've been trolling us for 3 years now. So now Monica says, well, I mean, that's not entirely true. So now you have everybody else jumping in. I think it was Lisa. And Lisa wants to know, well, what does that mean? And Monica, throughout this conversation, you kept going back and forth. 1 minute, it's not me. 1 minute, I'm not the owner of the account. I never trolled you guys. But then again, you are the owner of the account. You did do it, and they were collateral damage. Monica spoke out 2 sides of her face this entire conversation. So again, I'm really confused as to how somebody who is a proven liar is being regarded as an icon and as a legend. I don't see legend behavior. I just see a weirdo. I'm just being honest. And it's not me being mean or shady. It's just me calling it like I see it. So now Monica goes on to say that it's part true. And Lisa's like, you're disgusting. This is disgusting. You are just so disgusting. Was anybody living for Heather screaming at Monica? Because I'll tell you right now, where are the Golden Globes? Where are the Emmys? Because Heather deserves all the awards. I was here for her giving us her best Meryl Streep. Heather was not having it. She literally carried this entire scene on her back. She starts screaming at Monica at the top of her lungs, and she's like, you think that you can sit here and have us celebrate your birthday? You infiltrated our friend group. You sought after Jen Shah to work for her, and your name used to be Monica Velour, and then you got caught on security footage in Meredith's jewelry store when so-and-so stole that clutch. Monica, I don't know why you kept trying to deny it. You made yourself look worse. You now have Meredith screaming. She's like, girl, I'm not saying that you stole the clutch, but what I am saying is that we have you on my security footage. You were in my store 2 years ago, when 3 months ago, you were lying to my face saying that it was your first time in my store. You're a liar. And one thing about Bravo, they're going to always play that footage because we see them pull up the security footage of 2 years ago. And Monica was indeed in that jewelry store with Jen Shah and Jen Shah's entourage. When I tell y'all, I was crying at one point when Whitney got up and said, I have to move. I can't sit next to her. I was just like, baby, the dramatics of it all. I said, Monica, you did this to yourself. You have nobody to blame but yourself. Nobody's picking on you, sis. You're a fraud. And they're calling you out for it. Rightfully so. So now Lisa jumps in with some information that she knows, and she's like, and by the way, you were doing drive-bys by Jen Shah's house. So now Monica's like, girl, what are you talking about? How was I doing drive-bys by her house when I used to work for her? You're a dumb bitch. Now I said, hold up. How are you calling Lisa a dumb bitch when you're the one who had a whole troll account trolling everybody on your cast for 3 years thinking that you wouldn't get caught? Who's the dummy now? Monica, I would have worn you out right then and there if I were Lisa. Low key, I would have turned you every which way but loose, because I'll be damned if I have a high key scammer and a fraud calling me a dumb bitch. Baby, you're the biggest dummy of them all. And you're sitting up here making yourself sound even worse. The audacity. You're running out on bills, trolling your castmates, but yet wanting to be in their faces, but you want to call me a dumb bitch? Like, excuse me? And I don't think for a minute that Monica packed Lisa up by any means, because Monica doesn't know how to read. Her only read is that you're old, you're ugly, you're leathery. That's what she kept saying to Lisa. I mean, that's not really a read. How old are we? Are we in 5th grade? You can't come up with something better than that? I just don't see it for Monica. I don't. I think that she's very thirsty. And this is what thirstiness gets you. It gets you doing weird stuff like this. Because again, why do you want to be around people that you're trolling anonymously, but then smiling in their faces like you want to get to know them? That doesn't make any sense. That's weird. It also gives jealousy, because jealous people like to be around people that they can't stand, because while they can't stand you and they want what you have, they still can't get enough of you because they want to copy your ideas, they want to copy your swag, they want to copy your style, all the while hating you at the same time and wanting to take your place. And I still stand by what I think that her real issue with Lisa is that it's jealousy, because she low-key wants to be Lisa. And that's why her only reads are, you're old and you think that you're cool and you're materialistic. That's why the reads fall flat. And I'm going to always keep saying it. You could never read me on being materialistic when you ran out and bought a Louis Vuitton purse that you can't even afford to keep up with the Joneses. So now at this point, we're finally getting a little bit of the truth from Monica. She says that it wasn't just her. There were other people involved in this page. So now she goes on to say that the whole mission of the page was to take down Jen Shah, but the other women were collateral damage. Now hold on a minute. 5 minutes ago, sis, you just said that you weren't saying anything about the other women. Now it's, well, we were going to take her down, but you guys happened to be there, so you guys also got it too. The story just isn't making sense. And Monica still isn't telling the full truth. And I saw Monica fans talking about, oh, Monica cleared the whole table. It was her against everybody and she cleared them all. How did she clear them all? I'm confused as to how a liar cleared the table. She didn't clear anything to me. If anything, she made herself look worse. Now, I'm not even going to lie to you guys. I forgot all about Angie K and I've grown to love her. But Miss Mamas didn't have much screen time in this finale episode. And so she jumps in and now Monica's like, girl, shut up. Don't make me expose you because you were involved too. So Angie's like, excuse me? Like, I wasn't involved in any of this. So Monica's like, girl, yes, you were. You were DMing me all the time when I had that page. You would DM me saying, oh my gosh, it's just so funny. I can't stand her either. We see a screenshot of Angie K calling Angie Harrington desperate. And I said, okay, that's not the big gotcha that you think it is, Monica. Angie K being involved would mean that she was an active participant in taking down the other cast members too. All she did was DM you a few times saying that your page was funny. That was it. That's not involvement in anything. That's interacting with you a few times. And also, girl, you want to talk about, oh, pay your IRS bill, pay your tax bill, but yet you're over here running around with unpaid bills over at Beauty Lab. Why don't you pay your Beauty Lab bill? Let's talk about that. Let's talk about why your Range Rover's in your mom's name. Let's speak about that. But you want to talk about, oh, pay your IRS bill. I said, girl, shut up. And when Angie stood up and she wanted to throw the flowers at Monica, I said, Angie, I know you're angry. I understand. But baby, sit down because don't even give Monica the satisfaction. And you already know that as crafty and as sneaky and as fraudulent as Monica is, Monica will have you hemmed up in court and she'll be getting your money. So again, sis, she's not even worth it. So now Whitney jumps in and she's like, Monica, you were part of an account that attacked me and my family for years. So Monica denies it. And now she goes on to place the blame on her best friend, Tanisha, who's also Heather's hairstylist. And she's like, it was Tanisha's account. So I just said, oh, when in doubt, we're going to throw all the blame on your friend now. I said, again, Tanisha, you see what happens when you fool around with folks like Monica? Because now she's up here blaming you for everything, saying that you're the owner and the founder and the creator of all this. If I were you, I would have never gotten involved in this in the first place. I would have said, hell no, you have fun with that, but I'm going to continue to get my coin because I'll be damned if I mess up my bag because I want to be involved in some troll account at my big age. Absolutely not. So now they start questioning Monica and they're like, why were you and your best friend doing this anyway? Like, what's the truth? So you have Monica just sitting there. She's wiping her eyes. She's about to cry. I just said, girl, I don't want to see any tears. You did this. Own up to this and tell the truth. So now Monica fesses up to recording Jen Shah and posting those videos up on her account. So everybody's disgusted. Lisa's like, are you serious? So when we piss you off, what are you going to do? Post videos of us? You're an effing loser. And Lisa, I agree. 100% agree. That is 100% loser behavior. You're sitting up there recording somebody. That's unacceptable. Now nobody can feel comfortable around you because they have to be on pins and needles worrying about, are you secretly recording me every time we hang out? Who does that? And Monica, you trying to clap back, coming for Lisa's looks again. I just said, baby, the reeds fall flat. They do. And you're lucky that Lisa isn't witty enough to really read you down because I can assure you if there were a real reader on that cast, you would have been crying. You are very blessed that nobody else knows how to read on that cast except for Mary. And had Mary been on that trip, I can only imagine what she would have said to you. So now Monica goes on to tell Lisa that as long as Lisa doesn't abuse her employees like Jen Shah, then she'll be just fine. So now we cut to Monica in her confessional, and she says that she thinks that reality Von Tease wasn't a bad thing because it exposed Jen Shah's abuse, and she thinks that they did the right thing. Now, if you believe that you did the right thing, then why did you come clean with these ladies when you first met them about you being behind the account in the first place? So that right there shows me that you're lying. You're just upset now and you want to save face because you're caught. Because if I believe that I'm doing the right thing, I would have come clean about it immediately. I wouldn't have waited to get outed. But that's just me. Let's just break this down for a minute. Monica, this also shows that you cannot be trusted in any capacity, because with you now trying to spin this as you were a crusader for justice and you brought down a scammer like Jen Shah, let's stop. Because before you, me, or anybody else found out about Jen Shah being a scammer, once upon a time, you did believe that she was this rich woman who could change your life, and you wanted to be around her by any means. Let's not get it twisted. Monica is a social climber, and it is clear that Monica had her sights set on meeting Jen Shah and being connected to this group. I believe that Monica wanted her way in the door, so she offered her services to work for Jen Shah for free, because we all know that Jen Shah wasn't paying any of those assistants except for Stewart. So Monica was offering her services up for free because in exchange, she was getting clout, being around a pseudo celebrity, and the promise of being on the show one day. And she got her wish. But she failed to take into account that one day, this stupid plan of running a troll account while also working for and trying to expose her former boss at the same time, while also trying to connect with the other cast members of this show, it would greatly backfire. So now she wants to spin it like she was Robin Hood. Oh, I'm just here to save the day. I'm trying to do the right thing. I exposed a scammer and I put her in jail, so actually I shouldn't be blamed. No, girl, let's not do that, because once upon a time, you actually want to be around Jen Shah, and you probably did like her, and you wanted her to be your friend. And I also find it funny how now you want to say that you worked for Jen Shah, because I remember when you guys were in Palm Springs, it was around, I think it was either episode 4, when you and Lisa got into the fight the first time, and Lisa said, but you used to work for Jen Shah and you denied it. But now we're at the finale, and now you're finally claiming that you did work for her. So it's little inconsistencies right there that show me that Monica can't be trusted. And again, she'll say anything. Because like I said, 11 episodes ago or 12 episodes ago, you were talking about, oh, I didn't work for her. You know, I would help her out from time to time. But now it's, yeah, I worked for her. She was my boss. Girl, again, you're just not an honest person. I just saw a lot of people trying to act like, well, you guys want to excuse what Jen Shah did, but you want to crucify Monica. That's not what's happening over here. I fully acknowledge that what Jen Shah did is evil, underhanded, and just flat out cruel, that you would wipe people out of their hard-earned money, especially elderly people who are depending on that money for the rest of their lives. There's no denying that what she did was evil. But we're not going to sit up here and act like that wipes out what Monica did. What Monica did is weird and it's crazy too. And I'm just confused as to how anybody could look at Monica and say, oh, that's just so iconic. It's just so great. It's like, no, it's not. So at this point, Heather gets up and says, look, Monica, your behavior is real familiar because we dealt with this when we were friends with Jen Shah. She goes on to add how they were riding hard for Jen to appease her. They would defend her even when she was lying. And Heather says, I was sticking up for her and protecting her when I was on my book tour. She continues on and says, yeah, Jen was the one who gave me the black eye last year. And when I tell y'all, I stopped breathing for at least 3 seconds. I said, wait, what? Come again? I had to rewind that part back. I said, wait, did I hear that right? I said, Heather, you've already snatched my edges. Now you want to have me passed out in my own home? Is that what we're doing right now? Is that what we're doing? I said, Heather, you have no right to be carrying this scene the way you are. I said, girl, who told you to give us a performance like this? I wasn't ready, Heather. I wasn't ready. Y'all don't understand. My neighbors were probably sick of me last night because the way I was shouting at the TV. I was like, wait, what? You mean Jen Shah is the one who decked you in the eye and you sat up there and lied? You had me cursing you out in last year's recaps. I was like, Heather, you liar. I can't believe you. You would sit up here and orchestrate a storyline like this the whole time. You just banged your eye on the faucet and you're sitting up there lying, saying that somebody hit you. Baby, I was wearing you out. And now in the next season, in the finale, you come clean about what really happened. I said, Heather, do not do this to me. Everybody is shocked. They're like, wait, are you serious? They're like, Heather, no, it was Jen the whole time. So now you have Monica all smug and she's like, well, thank you, Heather. Thank you for finally telling the truth about what happened last year. And I just said, girl, shut up. You need to be apologizing. And Heather had me yelling when she said, you know what, Monica? Pack your things up and leave. You're not welcome here. Get out. It was giving very much Shawnee O'Neal when she said, thank you for your services. So Monica gets up. She leaves. They're all staring at her as she's walking out. And Monica goes on to say that she's aware that nothing stays in the dark and how Gossip Girl couldn't stay Gossip Girl forever. This is real life. This is not a fictional show. And please do not compare yourself to the iconic Gossip Girl. Let's not do that. And I saw that you're trolling them on your Instagram account. You did a photo shoot revealing that you're reality Von Tease. I mean, girl, if you're proud of yourself, then I guess that's all that matters. Personally, I'd be embarrassed. But that's just me. But I don't understand why you're acting so smug. I just think that Monica is one of those people who loves attention any way she can get it, whether it's good attention, bad attention. I just feel like she just wants all eyes on her. So she'll do anything if that means lashing out, having a temper tantrum, screaming at the top of her lungs, lying on somebody, being exposed as a fraud and as a liar. She'll take it as long as it means camera time, a check in her hand, and all eyes on her, then she's good. So now we see the closing shots of everyone else still at the table. They're all hugged up. They're consoling Heather because she's sobbing. And just the dramatics of it all. I was like, am I watching Big Little Lies on HBO? Because that's what it felt like. So now we see one last scene with Monica in her confessional, and the producer's asking her what was going through her head when the ladies asked her to leave. And she says that there was more that she wanted to say, but it just wasn't the time. And then she goes on to say that she does have more to the story that we can't wait to hear. Now, I call BS. I think that Monica just wants some more time to concoct a new lie. I believe that the reason why Monica was making no sense because she was lying. She had been found out, she was caught, and that's what it is. But please don't pee on my leg and tell me that it's raining by saying, well, there's more to the story, but I just felt like it wasn't the right time. Baby, when's the right time? Because that was the right time to speak up and say your piece. Y'all, let me just tell you, SLC is number one. They applied the notes and gave us an incredible season. I was not expecting for this finale to be as amazing and as riveting as it was. That was flawless. I have no critiques. To start 2024 off like this, I'm pleased. I need for every other city to take notes because that's how it's done. Now, I want to close off by saying that Monica definitely shook stuff up, but there's such a thing as overplaying your hand, and I believe that Monica overplayed her hand because nobody is speaking to her, rightfully so. She alienated herself. It makes complete sense why SLC did not have a panel on BravoCon this year, because I can only imagine it would have been a hot mess. Monica, I see that you got first seat next to Andy at this reunion. That's definitely a big deal for a newcomer to get first seat. Absolutely. I'm not going to take that away from you. But Miss Mamas, everybody is against you. You are on an island all by yourself. And you can say what you want, but you have to have your other cast members film with you in order for you to stay on this show. You are on the outs with everybody on this cast except for Mary, and Mary is only a friend of the show, so there's only so much that she can do. I feel like your spot is in serious jeopardy because nobody's going to film with you. There always needs to be a balance. Yes, it's good to be the firecracker, and yes, you get the folks talking, but when you pull corny stunts like this, it usually blows up in your face. And I'm going to tell you right now, Bravo will not keep you on if nobody else films with you. So in your quest of trying to get fame and trying to get rich, you actually high-key shot yourself in the foot, because now there's a chance that you might not be back if nobody else films with you. Then you're literally up shit's creek. And it's clear that Monica has been studying all of the Housewives shows for years. And she came in with this idea of, okay, I'm going to act like that. I'm going to do that to have a moment and to get the people to like me. And I'm going to be secure for the next few seasons. And I feel like, girl, when you're not authentic, it shows. And I don't believe that Monica was as genuine as she could have been, because she wanted to fill this role of, I'm the villain, I do all these crazy things, like I want to be known as the wild one, instead of letting things just happen organically. But y'all, thank you all for watching. I hope you all enjoyed. And you already know what to do. Please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you all later. Bye.